You know, when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers, what they have a lot of is a lot of very talented, very skilled players. Some guys like James Neal, for example, can score the lights out. Others like Connor McDavid can absolutely take over shifts with their skating. Others like Leon Draisaitl are so smart in being able to just know what to do and having the power to force that through. And when it comes to the offensive talent of the Oilers, there indeed are some other guys who have yet to make their mark on the ice in Edmonton, but who have been showing themselves off greatly overseas in the NCAA and the like. Today we're talking about one of those college guys, and this is a player whom Edmonton Oilers fans have absolutely been loving over the past few days, week and a half, I guess, because playing for the University of Denver NCAA hockey team, this player, Carter Savoie, is out here breaking records. What's going on? Let's talk about some prospects over here. Talk about a guy who was recently drafted in the 2020 NHL Entry Draft. Today we're talking about Carter Savoie, a draft pick by the Edmonton Oilers in the 4th round, 100th overall in this year's most recent 2020 draft. Now, immediately, right off the bat, you're taking a look at the last name and you're saying, Savoie, where have I heard that before? Yeah, Carter Savoie is the older brother of Matthew Savoie, one of the top prospects of the 2022 NHL Entry Draft. Now, in 2022, there are pretty much 3 candidates to go first overall. You have Shane Wright, who dominated the OHL last year with Kingston. You have Brad Lambert, a Finnish guy playing in Finland, doing things in the Liga, by the way, and he's only 16 years old right now. And you have Matthew Savoie, the guy whom a lot of people pegged as probably the first exceptional status caliber player in the WHL, except he didn't actually get exceptional status. Connor Bedard, the next year after, though, did. So Savoie kind of got a little bit, he got kind of slapped in the face with that one. But he still is a very legit NHL prospect that is going to be good in 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022, eventually leading into that 2022 draft. But his older brother, Carter Savoie, elected not to take that WHL route. Carter Savoie is an 18-year-old 2002 January-born left-wing player, 5'10", 181 pounds. Solid frame for a guy who is sub 6 feet, but he has made his bread and butter known by scoring goals everywhere he has gone. He was drafted out of the Sherwood Park Crusaders hockey team in the AJHL. No, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been watching too much Junior AHL hockey in the past few years, even with Carter Savoie and Michael Benning, Jim Benning's nephew, by the way, who was on the same wavelength of Cale Makar in Junior A Alberta hockey scoring for right-handed defensemen. They played on the same team with Sherwood Park last year, and Carter Savoie absolutely built upon what was a league-dominating rookie season in 2018-19, where he was the 5th highest point-producing player in the entire league with 73 points in 58 games, and he scored 31 goals. So Carter Savoie, as a young player in that league, was good enough to get himself on the All-Rookie team, the All-Star team, was the Rookie of the Year, and was the CJHL's top rookie. In his second year, though, 2019-20, he absolutely lit the roof off the house, 99 points, under a goal a game, 53 goals, 54 games played, and as a draft-eligible player, people were taking a look at Carter Savoie and saying, darn, this guy knows how to dangle his way out of opponents' grasps, he knows how to lure people in and just easily sidestep around them, and his shot is the absolute best quality of his game. Let's go over to the scouting reports from elite prospects. Savoie reads defenders like few other players in the draft. He's acutely aware of opposing sticks and actively baits them. Savoie is deceptive. He looks off his targeted play and keeps the same grip on his stick, whether he's passing, dangling, or shooting. He fires the puck with power, precision, and with some trickery, using screens to his advantage. The only problem was, and there were pretty much, well, actually not the only problem, there are like 2 problems here. Firstly, AJHL competition isn't amazing. That's just kind of how the hierarchy goes. Junior A hockey in Alberta is not the same as Junior A hockey in BC, for example. And the overall hierarchy of skill between the Junior A leagues compared to the major junior leagues, it's definitely noticeable. So the league that he was playing in definitely was not the hardest league in the world. And secondly, this is mostly just going off of what I've seen other people say, because again, I haven't watched too many Sherwood Park Crusaders games over the past calendar year, But Carter Savoie was a player who had a very interesting problem with his game. Not that he lacked any offensive talent or that he wasn't good at the things that people said he was good at, but he just never defended. This was a guy who, when his team was in their own zone getting trapped by the opposing team's cycle game, he'd be waiting in the neutral zone just waiting for the breakout pass, try to get a breakaway and score a goal. This was a guy who spent so little time in his own zone, aside from just the opening draws on the faceoffs, that there was a huge defensive problem that people saw with Carter Savoie that said to other people like, for example, Will Scouching, whose opinion I very much trust in this community, that there's a little bit of a learning curve that's going to go on with the overall fundamental hockey player that is here in Carter Savoie. Is he talented? Yeah, he's talented. He can score a boatload of goals on a boatload of goalies, and he's proving that this year. We haven't even spoken about what he's done this year, but he's doing very good things when it comes to scoring goals. But the other problem in his game, besides the quality of the league he's playing in, was that defensive consistency. And to be fair, when you're scoring goals like Carter Savoie can score goals, you could say, well, it's not really a problem. But that was something that I wanted to bring up because, hey, we spoke about the negative, now let's go over to the positive. Carter Savoie is part of the University of Denver Pioneers hockey system that just recently kicked off their games once again. Now, the NCAA is weird this year. A lot of their teams haven't started playing yet. Some of them backed out. Some of them have no plans of playing. Others have already almost finished what is to be their seasons. For example, the Wisconsin Badgers in the Big Ten. They have, I think, 2 games remaining at the time of this recording. But University of Denver, they started things off. They've got 4 games under their belt. And Carter Savoie came out here and, he immediately started showing off why he was one of the better players in the AJHL goal-scoring-wise. He scored himself 5 goals and 1 assist in 4 games played, bringing his total up to 6 points. And this isn't going over quietly either. The Denver Pioneers are showing off all the highlights on their Twitter page, and Edmonton fans are eating this up. Carter Savoie can go out there and score from either wing on the rush. His left-handed shot is just so precisely accurate. Whether he's going down the right wing and he rips it short side, or he goes down the left wing and he rips it far side, this guy has a deceptive ability to beat goaltenders out with his shot, and he's displayed that 5 times out of 4 games this year. He's an 18-year-old freshman leading his team in points, and he's already tied for 4th in the entire NCAA in goals. He's tied for 1st with Kobe Roth of the University of Minnesota Duluth hockey program for goals per game, and he's one of the top point per game players in the entire NCAA too, rounding out that top 10. He's a guy playing alongside of Michael Benning, whom we did mention before as Vancouver Canucks GM Jim Benning's nephew and Florida Panthers prospect. He is over a point per game as well as an 18-year-old freshman too. My gosh, Michael Benning, man, absolutely giving us things to cheer about over here for Vancouver fans. But Carter Savoie has taken over the University of Denver Pioneers hockey program, so much to the point that he's legitimately breaking records. He was the first freshman in Denver University hockey history to score in his first 4 games. George Morrison did it in his first year in '68, though Morrison was a sophomore as the 70-71 season was the first season freshmen were allowed to play at Denver University. So Carter Savoie is out here breaking records, scoring goals like it's nobody's business, taking the lights out at the top of the goalie's nets, and he is just finding ways to consistently do that. Now, whether or not the defensive issues are a problem, I'm not really too sure. Not gonna lie, I haven't been watching too many University of Denver games in full, I've just been looking at the highlights. But what Carter Savoie does best, he is absolutely doing incredibly well on. And if he's a guy who does indeed still suffer from those defensive deficiencies where he pretty much gives the opposing team a power play because he's not in the defensive zone, hey, just play him with, I don't know, a very good, responsible 2-way forward on the Oilers. Who knows what this guy can do with Connor McDavid? His skating's pretty okay. His shot is amazing. Imagine McDavid setting up a Carter Savoie-like player in the next decade, huh? That sounds amazing. The fact is, Savoie is literally the older brother of a potential first overall pick in Matthew Savoie. So there's a bloodline there that says that Carter Savoie's goal-scoring hockey offensive ability may be able to actually translate to a level beyond what we thought was possible for a guy who was drafted in the 4th round. But at the end of the day, he's off to a hot start. Oilers fans are talking about it. I wanted to talk about it here because it is significant in my opinion. He's absolutely scoring the lights out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think about Carter Savoie, his overall path, and the Oilers prospect pool as a whole. So that's 99, and bye.